Hello and welcome guys to Carbon Market News. Welcome to another video where we talk about carbon credit investing, everything that has to do with the carbon markets and how to make money investing in carbon. If you're interested by this content, as always, like and subscribe the video. I will be very happy about that. And short preface, this is no financial advice. Today we're going to explore the voluntary carbon market. We're going to do a video a bit about the basics. What is the voluntary carbon market? Sometimes I have the feeling that it's not always clear what is meant by the voluntary carbon market. So we're gonna look at this. So what is the voluntary carbon market? Basically, it is companies voluntarily offsetting their emissions. So companies want to be carbon neutral, they want to claim net zero, so they can calculate their emissions and then offset their emissions. Why do they do this? In my opinion, it is marketing and branding, especially the young people, but also older people want to see carbon neutrality. They don't want any CO2 emissions with their products. And basically every product has CO2 emissions, so offsetting can be quite a useful tool for claiming that the products are carbon neutral. So how does it work? How does a company offset their emission? We have a basic example here. Company A produces products and produces CO2 emissions by producing these products. And company B plants trees and gets credits, certified credits for this activity. And so company A goes to company B and says, I want to offset my emissions. I'm going to give you money. And for that, you're going to give me credits. Very straightforward. So how do companies generate carbon credits? There are a lot of methods how you can generate carbon credits. There is a CDM, Clean Development Mechanism booklet. It's a 280-page document describing basically every way you can create some carbon offsets. This is the standard framework. And for example, I took the graphic from Vera, which is a standard for the carbon credits. And they describe here the bigger sectors like energy, for example, not using fossil fuels and going to clean energy, construction, don't use so much concrete, use wood, use better building materials, waste management, agriculture, especially when you think about regenerative agriculture, and grassland and livestock management. That means don't overgraze or manage the cows better, that they produce more soil carbon. You can have better industrial processes, not so much chemicals, transport and mining, where you can use better techniques, forestry and wetlands, like for example, not cutting down a forest, reforesting, conservation of wetlands, and so on. So like I said, in this CDM methodology, there are many more details for those people who are interested. I will link it in the description. If anyone plans on starting a carbon company, you can look at the methods. And then there's always the question of certified, uncertified. Certified carbon credits are controlled by a third party, which is most of the time it's Vera. It's the biggest certification platform, but there's also gold standards and others. And these entities have a methodology. They have a specific protocol how you can certify your carbon credits. So the buyer knows what they get, much like a organic label or, I don't know, different labels from product categories. And it's also much more complicated to get a project certified. This requires a lot of work, a lot of documentation. So sometimes people just don't want to certify. And since the voluntary carbon market does not really have a set framework, a company, I heard even from bigger, very known companies, can just produce uncertified credits and just claim net zero this way. So this is a bit of a mess. And this also leads to some companies paying a lot of money for their credits and other not paying a lot, and still both can claim that they are carbon neutral or climate friendly or whatever. So this is an unresolved issue in this market. So why are we talking about the voluntary carbon market? In 2021, the voluntary carbon market was more than $1 billion, which does not sound like a lot, but the market has been growing steadily at 30% per year. And many people, including the Task Force on Scaling Voluntary Carbon Markets, which are very influential people, a lot of influential companies, think that the market will be 100 billion by 2030 or even more. So that's 100x growth from today in 9 years. But we will see, this depends on many factors. If companies want to have more climate friendly products, what will the price be? There are many scenarios, but 100 billion is a number that I read in a lot of estimations. So if this number holds true, this will be a lot of growth in this sector. Okay, this was a short overview about the voluntary carbon market. I want to ask you, have you any questions about the voluntary carbon markets? Any insider info? Let me know in the comment section. And as always, thank you. I will see you in the next video.